My name is June Wakeling and I am doing a recording on behalf of Mountsorrel Heritage Group. The date is Tuesday, February the 11th, 2014. I'm going to have a chat with Mr. Edward Sutton with reference to his home of some 60 years at 36 The Marketplace, Mountsorrel. This house must be one of the oldest that's left in the village.
It must be, because what used to be the attic, there's a beam across with 1709 on it. So I'd think this dates back to about the 1700s.
So I take it then that it's a listed building?
Yes, because the landlord wanted to put plastic windows in the front. The council stopped him and said no, it must be wood because it's listed.
How long had you been married when the house first became vacant?
12 months. We lived with my mum 12 months.
So just a year then,
yeah.
You've been married. But it will be what? 61 years?
61 years.
That you've been living in it. Now when you first saw the house, did it take your fancy or didn't it?
Not to start with, because it were in a bit of a mess. But Joe Goodwin let us live here for a month rent-free to clean it up.
Joe Goodwin was the butcher?
He was the landlord.
Can you remember who lived in it before you took it over?
The Burtons.
And who were the Burtons?
Now then, all I know...
Burton.
John Burton's
The old
mum.
man.
You don't know any more than that?
No.
That it was just Mr. and Mrs. Burton?
Burton.
Had they any family?
Yes, they had a son, because we often see him riding up and down the village.
Oh, so he's still local then?
Yeah.
When you came to look at it though, what sort of a state was it in?
A bit rough.
In what way?
That was a coal house.
Where you're sitting?
In that corner.
Right, that's on the left hand side of the fireplace?
Yes.
Right.
There was a black lead grate, you know, the old fashioned sort. And we did all the alterations.
But was it a granite front like it is now?
The fireplace?
Yes.
No. We had an ordinary fireplace put in to start with. And then a bit later on we had that took out and this put in.
Right. Did it have a little oven at either side when you came to look at it?
It was a black lead grate, you know, the old fashioned, with oven.
Now you've been living with your parents for a year.
Yeah.
Did they give you any advice when you decided to take it?
No. Well, my dad were a cripple, he couldn't be interested. No, we did it ourselves.
And what did Jenny think to it when she saw it?
She went along with me.
So how long was it before you started paying rent?
We had a month free.
A month free. Can you remember, now you've lived in Mountsorrel all your life, you're now 85?
Yes.
Was it ever thatched in your young day?
No.
Would you say that all the beams are still original?
Yes.
You've never had any beams replaced?
No.
But no serious alterations to it at all?
Not to the body of the house.
Right.
Only the inside that I've done.
Right. What about upstairs?
No. No, there's been no alterations there at all.
Right.
Or tell a lie, the previous landlord before Paul had the attic all cleared out, all the muck cleared away and made it into a bedroom for Mick when he were a lad.
What about your dormer window? It had a dormer window
It
when
did.
you first came to live in here, didn't it?
And that got took away and that skylight put in.
Now, the house looks very comfortable and cosy, is it?
Yes.
So you're not going anywhere then?
No.
Now, when you first moved in, was water on tap or was there a pump?
There was a tap, but when we first moved in the yard there was slaughterhouses. Joe Goodwin the butcher used to kill in the yard, and there was an alleyway through into his house, which is where you live. But the tap was right against the slaughterhouse.
And were there any other buildings in the yard?
Yes, 3 houses at the side here.
Right.
They've been pulled down a long while ago.
So neither you nor the 3 houses had any running water in the house at all?
No.
And how long was it before running water was put in?
We got Terence Underwood to put it in, didn't we? About a couple of years after we come in.
And there used to be, as far as I remember, 3 toilets in the yard. Now, were they flush toilets?
Yes.
Or they were flush when
they
you moved in?
were always flush toilets.
Right. You also had electricity. It wasn't gas.
No, no.
No gas. It was electricity. Right. Now, because of its age, has the local authority shown any interest in it?
Not really.
Now, when you were a lad, did you ever think you might live here one day and it would be your family home?
No.
Have you got aspirations to go somewhere else then?
No, not really.
Has the house ever had a garden?
No, only a little tiny bit out the back. Oh, Johnny Allen next door, he had the garden at the back of the slaughterhouse.
How long was it before the slaughterhouse was pulled down?
Oh, it was about 5 years after we come here, I should think.
So was cattle still being brought here to be slaughtered when you moved in?
Yeah. When there was three houses at the side, there was also a wide gateway with double doors, and then the slaughterhouse was along the back of the yard. Oh yes, Joe Goodwin was still killing cattle and sheep and pigs here when we lived here. I used to help him.
Now the slaughterhouse was this end of the yard?
Across that end, and then there was a building down that side with an opening, a gate, a passageway through into your yard.
Now you've just told us that the Burtons lived here before you, but you've always had neighbours. Were any of them a little bit eccentric? Can you tell us a story about your neighbours?
Well, not really. I think we had Nurse Hayes that lived this side. She was all right, and then Mrs. Adams and her family lived that side, and no, not really.
So you can't really say that you've enjoyed eccentric neighbours.
No, no,
always
no.
been very good. Now, was there always a shop next door to you?
Yeah, barbers.
It's always been a barber's?
Yeah.
Was the post office there then? Before,
no, that was a long while before.
Before you moved in? Now, who had the barber's shop?
Well, I used to call him Sweeney Todd from Raisby. Alf.
I know. And what sort of haircuts did he do?
Oh, they were all right.
It wasn't like then the basin
No, it weren't like Tony Wood up the bottom of the green. It got a good haircut.
Now, looking at the front of your house, it looks like a shop window. Was it always like this?
Well, I can't remember it ever being a shop, but some people have said that long while ago it used to be a shop when that was a post office. They said that this used to be a grocery shop. But I don't know, that was before my time.
Well, it was full of little shops at one time, the marketplace, wasn't it?
Oh, lovely.
Little odd shops here and there.
Yeah.
Can you remember any of the odd shops in the marketplace?
Yes, you start on the corner of Sarby Lane, you got Mrs. Wright's the butcher, and then Goodwin's the butcher this side. Then next door to Mrs. Wright there was the antique shop. Then Newton's the chemist, and then it came up to Brooks's. There was Mr.
Redhead.
Mr. Redhead and his wine shop.
Mrs. Wolvin.
Mrs. Wolvin was the grocery shop. Brooks's across the road, which was haberdashery and that. Then the co-op here at the side of the pub.
Was George Spence still going?
Oh yes, he was across that side. The White Swan were opposite. Co-op was that side on the right, and George Spence was on first shop that side.
Can you remember the name of the little shop that was on the corner before, next door to the little graveyard, the Baptist graveyard? There was a tiny little
Bollard's,
shop.
Mrs. Bollard used to keep that sweet shop.
And when you moved in, was the street lighting still gas?
No, electric.
It was electric. You're all modern.
Yeah.
When you moved in, I take it there was no bathroom.
Oh no, you had a tin bath in the kitchen and a portable gas fire it was lovely. You used to have a bath in the kitchen.
And you had to boil all your water?
In a copper.
Was there a copper in the kitchen?
In the corner of the kitchen, until a certain person decided to take it out one day and left the biggest hole you ever seen in your life in the wall.
I take it that was Jenny.
That's it.
So, and the street lighting was electric.
Yeah.
Now, being a small cottage, how many bedrooms did it have?
There's 3 now. There were only 2 originally. There were two bedrooms and the attic. Then Roth cleaned the attic out and made it into a lovely bedroom for Mick. So we've got 3.
Thank you very much, Ted. It's been a pleasure talking to you. If you remember anything else, remember the Heritage Group.